Sculling is a type of drill that helps you work on your feel for the water and learning how to catch not only with the palm of your hand, but your forearm as well, and just kind of finding that feel. There are a lot of different ways that you can scull, but I have a progression of 3 or 4 different sculling patterns that I like to use. I just call them skull cycle. So a lot of times I'll assign this as like a set of 25s, and you'll just do a single one of each, and you might repeat it a couple times through. So the first type of skull I call entry phase sculling. So it's going to be up here. Your hands are kind of in the water over your head where they would enter on your freestyle catch. You're just going to kind of bend your elbows a little bit, and then you're going to sweep out and then change the pitch of your hands as you sweep back in. And so you're not going to make a lot of super fast forward motion as you do this drill, but the goal again is just to kind of find that catch, that feel for where there's a lot of pressure between your hand and the water. Sweep out, sweep back in. When you do this, you can either do it with a pull buoy in between your legs to just let your legs float, or you can do it with a really soft kick, but you want to make sure that your kick is not the primary driver. You want that to come from the skull. So again, that's the first one, your entry phase. The second one in skull cycle is catch phase. So that's where in our freestyle we would pull down. This is the catch part of the stroke. So right here, catch phase is going to be kind of underneath the line of your shoulders or just underneath your chest. Again, same thing, you're going to sweep out and then sweep back in, just about that wide. It's not like a breaststroke pull, it's just a sweep. The final one is going to be finish phase, which is where we finish our stroke here past our hip. So your hands are going to be down here by your hips. You're going to press out and sweep back in. Same thing, again, just a light kick or use that pull buoy. And then sometimes I throw a fourth one into the skull cycle pattern. So this one is called underwater recovery drill. Basically what it looks like is, so normally we would swim freestyle like this where our arms recover over the water, but in this drill, your arms are gonna recover underneath the water. So you're just gonna slide them back up under the water. You're gonna tip that hand forward. Notice how my elbow comes up for that high elbow catch, and you're gonna pull through past your hip. Again, slide your arms up, catch down, and pull through. So basically just works on that underwater catch portion of the stroke. And you could also add a little bit of a skull to this drill if you wanted to, where you could kind of sweep in and out as you pull through that underwater catch. So a couple different ways you can do sculling and work on that underwater pull, but now I'm going to show you what those look like in the water. So when you're sculling, normally you could put your face in the water and just lift your head to breathe. You could also use a snorkel. That's a great tool if you have one, so you can just focus on that catch and that sweep without having to worry about your breathing. But it can also be a great open water practice technique to actually work on sculling with your eyes up out of the water. So when you do this drill, you would want literally just your eyes coming out of the water, not your whole face, and definitely not your neck. So just keep those kind of alligator eyes, like we often call them, where you're low in the water, and you're gonna do just that entry phase skull where your arms are kind of right here in front of you where they would enter the water. You're just gonna sweep back and forth. When you do need to breathe, just lift that chin up out of the water, get that quick breath, and then put your face back in. But again, keep those eyes up. It's gonna help you get a lot more comfortable with that feeling of holding water in front of you while keeping your body balanced, even with your eyes out of the water.
So here I'm going to show you the 3 variations of the skull in the same 25. So this here is the entry phase, right there in the front of your body where your hands enter the water. Now I'm doing catch phase. This is where my hands are kind of under the line of my shoulders or under my chest. And then finally this is finish phase, where your hands finish the freestyle stroke by your hip. And I'll show you one more time through in each of those phases. And then here I'm showing you underwater recovery drill. So it looks a little funny, but basically it's just freestyle without allowing your arms to recover over the water. You just want to kind of slide them back up to that full extension and then work on your bent elbow catch. Tip that hand forward, keep your elbow higher than your wrist as you pull through past your hip, and repeat. And then finally, this is how you do sculling with your eyes up. So you'll notice on this one, I'm not using the pull buoy. I decided just to do a light kick, but the majority of my propulsion is coming from the skull. I'm just kicking enough to balance my body. But you can see I just barely have my eyes out of the water, and then when I need to take that breath, I lift my head to breathe, but I'm not trying to continuously breathe and sight at the same time.